The FOMC determines the amount of currency to be released into circulation. The committee takes trends in prices and wages, employment and production rates, consumer income and spending, residential and commercial construction, business investment and inventories, the foreign exchange markets, interest rates, money and credit aggregates, and fiscal policy into account when determining the current monetary policy. The Federal Reserve uses 3 tools to implement the monetary policy set by the FOMC. These tools include open market operations, which is the purchase and sale of U.S. Treasury and federal agency securities, the discount rate, which is the interest rate charged to commercial banks and their depository institutions on loans they receive from their Federal Reserve Bank's lending facility, and reserve requirements, which is the amount of funds that a depository institution must hold in reserve against specified deposit liabilities. The U.S. Federal Reserve fosters financial stability by purchasing through the open market and extending discount window loans to U.S. financial institutions. It also has the authority to lend funds to individuals, partnerships, and corporations, although it is yet to do so.
There is about $1.2 trillion of U.S. currency in circulation. The Federal Reserve Banks distribute new currency for the Treasury Department, which prints it. Banks and other institutions buy currency from the Federal Reserve when they need it and deposit cash to the Fed when they have too much cash on hand.
The policy of the European Central Bank, or the ECB, determines how many euros are in circulation. The primary objective of the ECB's monetary policy is to maintain price stability at inflation rates of below, but close to, 2% over the medium term. The money supply of euros, which is the total value of euros in circulation, is adjusted by the central bank in order to keep inflation around 2%. The ECB can circulate more euros, which have the effect of lowering interest rates, but which raise the inflation rate. If inflation gets too high, the ECB will take money out of circulation. The fact that the total value of euros in circulation now exceeds the total value of US dollars in circulation, at just over 943 billion euros, the possibility exists that the euro may one day replace the dollar as the first choice of nations' reserve currency.
What is a budget surplus? A budget surplus is a situation in which the government has collected more revenue than it had spent over the course of a year, thus making for a surplus in the amount of money a nation has for different expenditures. Here are some of the scenarios that a budget surplus brings. What is a budget deficit? A budget deficit is the opposite of a budget surplus, meaning that a country has spent more than it has obtained in revenue, thus making a country's propensity to go into debt higher, which in turn can downgrade the overall economy rating of a country. Here are some of the scenarios that a budget deficit brings.
There are many different things that can affect the amount of money in circulation. The main problem that the government is trying to correct in these scenarios is the economy. Trying to bring the economy back to a healthy state results in more money in circulation or a high scenario. But if it goes too far, the result would be for the government to limit the amount of money in circulation to achieve a low scenario. It is a hard balancing act.